Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Well, what a difference a day makes, huh? After yesterday's warm-up, we are seeing some snowflakes in parts of Metro Detroit. Brandon is tracking when things will warm up again. Plus, security is high at the U.S. Capitol, and the House was shut down early because of a possible threat today. We'll tell you what lawmakers passed in a scramble overnight in an effort to get out of the building. They claim things only got serious when the informants planted by the FBI got involved. And new allegations today from the attorneys representing the men charged in the Governor Whitmer kidnapping plot. It is day 2 for the hearing for the 3 members of the Wolverine Watchmen accused of supporting terrorist acts. And the hearing will determine if there's enough evidence to send these 3 men to trial in the plot to kidnap the governor and storm the state capitol. Our Grant Herms is following the latest for us this afternoon from the courtroom where the defense kicked off the day. Grant?
Evra, good afternoon. Yesterday we heard from the prosecutors, and today we are hearing from the defense side of this hearing. And we're getting what is essentially a preview of the legal argument that they'll be laying out should these men go to trial, who are representing that group, the Wolverine Watchmen. In court today, attorneys for the men accused in the plot to eventually kidnap and kill Governor Gretchen Whitmer taking their turn questioning the undercover FBI agent who uncovered the alleged plot. The attorneys for Pete Musico, Joseph Morrison, and Paul Ballar pushing back against the claims their clients intended to act violently. At one point, the attorney for Morrison making the claim the members of the group known as the Wolverine Watchmen were only training in Munich to protect against far-fetched threats like the invasion of the United States or the need to tactically sweep their homes after being out. The defense also portrayed online posts involving violent rhetoric about the governor as satire, and their activities only escalating once an FBI confidential informant got involved.
He told his group he wants Governor Whitmer's head on a platter.
Okay. And that could be satire as well.
I guess I don't think that's funny.
Me neither, but I feel like hadn't you heard similar things about President Trump on late night TV?
There's a lot of mean and nasty things that have been said about politicians.
And Everett, if that sounds familiar, it's very similar to this defense that was used by the lawyers for the Hatari almost a decade ago. We'll let this truck go by here just a little bit. Now, if you remember, most of those members were able to have their charges dropped from the Hatari. We'll have the latest coming up from today's hearing at 5 and 6. Back to you.
We'll definitely be tuning in then. Thank you for the update, Grant. Security is heightened at the U.S. Capitol today because of a possible plot to breach the building. The threat from a militia group is connected to a far-right conspiracy theory that Donald Trump will rise to power again today. Lawmakers canceled today's session so that they wouldn't have to be in the building. NBC's Tracy Potts is on Capitol Hill for us this afternoon with a look at what lawmakers got done overnight.
The Senate's working today. The House dismissed early after law enforcement warnings that Trump supporters and extremists might be headed back to Washington.
The bill is passed.
The House of Representatives scrambling overnight to approve a voting rights bill and the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act.
We cannot accept this epidemic of injustice.
Both votes were scheduled for today, but the House rushed them through after the FBI and Homeland Security warned of extremist threats to attack the U.S. Capitol again today and remove Democrats. Conspiracy theorists believe Donald Trump will return to power today. Inauguration used to be held on March 4th. The Capitol complex is still under heavy security in place since the January 6th riot. 6,000 National Guard troops remain in D.C.
That mission continues under its current form until the 12th of March.
The House shutting down early to be safe. Threats to lawmakers are up over 90% this year.
People are deeply concerned about what potential threats could be out there.
But the Senate is working today. Debate on the American Rescue Plan could be delayed 10 hours. One lawmaker will force the clerk to read the entire 700-page bill first.
It's not about delaying things. It's about educating the public in terms of what this bill is and what this bill isn't.
President Biden has agreed to limit direct payments to Americans earning $80,000 or less and couples earning twice that. 20 hours of debate will happen after that bill is read, which could push debate and decisions into the weekend. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
New at noon, we are hearing from Congresswoman Debbie Dingell on the possible threats on the U.S. Capitol.
We know that there are people that want to kill members of Congress. That is a documented threat. I think if you're a woman from Michigan, you've become used to the kind of hatred that can be targeted at you, and we all take it seriously, but nobody lets it threaten them or stop them from doing their job. A terrorist wants to terrorize, and none of us are going to do that.
In the meantime, the Associated Press is reporting Capitol Police have requested that members of the National Guard continue to provide security at the U.S. Capitol for another 2 months. Defense officials say that the new proposal is being reviewed by the Pentagon. Well, that COVID relief bill making its way through Congress can't come soon enough for some. The number of people filing for first-time unemployment benefits went up last week to 745,000. That is 9,000 more than the week before. And then starting next week in Michigan, a new round of people will be eligible to get vaccinated. People 50 and up with certain medical conditions can try to get appointments on Monday. Everyone 50 and up is eligible on the 22nd, and we'll get new infection numbers from the state today. But just yesterday, state officials reported 1,536 new cases of COVID-19 and 5 deaths. Well. Yesterday, we got a chance to get outside, Brandon, and enjoy a little bit of warmer weather. I was hoping that we had seen the last of the snow. I know it's only March 4th. Bear with me. But I eat my words, I guess. Right. I'm no meteorologist.
It's tough when yesterday was near 60,
right,
and our mindset is now spring focused, but we get a little setback today, even tomorrow on the cooler side. The snow we thought would be sort of confined to our north zone, a simple shift in winds instead of northwest. The wind's more north right off of the lake, so we're getting some snow showers through Lapeer, Oakland, Macomb counties, but also here, a live look in Mount Clemens, Macomb County. You can see a little blue sky back there. So some hope for later this afternoon, and we need it. These temps, 20s and low 30s with a north wind that is 15 to 18 miles an hour. How about wind chills still in the teens to lower 20s. So a few flakes now, some sun coming later this afternoon, 37 degrees or so for a high, and temperatures will be gradually increasing. In fact, if you liked yesterday, Evrod, we've got more of that in the 7-day.
Okay, well, just ignore what's happening outside. Brandon, thank you. In other news this afternoon, the man charged with targeting members of the LGBTQ community in Metro Detroit is expected to appear in court today. Police say Diabolic Johnson from Indiana murdered Joshua Smelser during an armed robbery in Detroit last September. He's also accused of robbing another man at a hotel in Dearborn just a few days earlier. Prosecutors say that the victims in both cases were targeted on online dating apps because they were members of the LGBTQ community. He's expected to be arraigned in the Detroit murder case shortly. A 32-year-old woman, was killed on Detroit's east side late last night. This happened at a home on Strasburg, right near 8 Mile and Groesbeck, and we have learned that one person is in custody, but we don't have any details on the circumstances surrounding this. We do have calls into the police, though, and expect an update on that. And a van drove into a home in Monroe, rupturing a gas line as it damaged the house. This home was on Clark Street, right near I-75 and Elm Avenue. The driver was found on the scene and was not hurt. Police think that the driver might have been drinking. The gas company was able to contain the leak, and luckily, no one was home at the time. All right, so to come here on Local 4 News at noon, fewer people are driving during the pandemic, but deadly crashes are up by a significant amount at that. We'll tell you about the dangerous habits that some people have picked up during the pandemic that have proven to be deadly on the roads. Also, health experts lay out the reasons that they think it's too early to be easing some COVID restrictions. That's coming up next.
She's being called one of the most important voices in America.
There's this idea that as long as a white person is nice, then they can't possibly be racist.
It's a conversation with a best-selling author, educating and inspiring so many about racial justice. The interview that will definitely leave you talking tonight at 5.